What is up, guys? What's up, guys? How's your quarantine going? Mine's trash. What's going on, guys?
How do you start your first YouTube video? Like, I would genuinely like to go back and like watch like big YouTubers and go to their first video and like see how they started it, because it's actually very awkward. It's very awkward talking to like yourself on a camera screen. So what is going on, guys? My name is Lauren. This is my first ever YouTube video. It's actually like low-key kind of annoying that I'm just starting a YouTube channel in 2020. So late to the game, but I guess, you know, better late than never. So here I am. So today I thought it'd be really fun to film kind of like a challenge video. Today, since it's my first ever YouTube video, I thought it'd be cool to make something for beginners. I feel like you'll see a lot of people doing like beginners tutorials, but they're using 15 products. So personally, when I was first getting into makeup, I really didn't even know where to start as far as like what products to get, but I knew damn well I was not about to walk into a Sephora and drop $300 on like 10 different products that some YouTuber told me I have to use to get like a beginner's look. I thought it'd be really cool today to do like a simple, easy to follow soft glam, only using 5 products. Now that I've talked about it, I guess I'll show you guys what I did. The product I'm going to be using is a Stay Naked liquid foundation. This is by Urban Decay. Just dot a little bit on my hand and then transfer that from my hand to my face. The little polka dot spots. You know what you're thinking? You're probably like, girl, this is not your color. But okay, hear me out. Hear me out. This is my theory on this. I've got like cooler undertones in my skin, and this this foundation is like a lot warmer and a little bit more like olivey, and just like the contrast, the way that my skin and the foundation melt together, I feel like just gives me a really pretty color. Like, in a way, it kind of gives me more of like a desirable tone. So let's talk tools really quick while I'm buffing this out. I personally, when I do my foundation, I like to start using a brush. If you're someone, once again, who's like first getting into makeup and you're like, I don't know what tools to use, I don't know, should I be using a sponge, should I be using a foundation brush? I personally use both. I like to start by spreading the product with my brush and kind of like placing it where I want to see it, and really just getting that like blended out all over my face, down my neck. If you are someone who's new to makeup, which is kind of who this video is for, and you're like, okay, so I'm in a bind, like I don't want to buy a million things, like do I get the sponge or do I get the brush? I would suggest getting the sponge, actually, because the sponge definitely does a good job of blending out your makeup, and it's actually like, I think, a little bit easier to apply product with. But I would just always suggest that like you don't pick up the product to apply it with the sponge. I would suggest that you always place the product on your face first and then blend it out, just so that you're not, you know, wasting as much product. Foundation is expensive, girl. Okay, so our second product that we're going to use is concealer. Really, you can use any liquid concealer. Today I'm going to be using the Kylie Cosmetics liquid concealer in the color Buttermilk. You can definitely find dupes for this at the drugstore if you're feeling like you don't want to spend as much money. But if I'm being honest, I honestly think that this, don't quote me on this because I really don't know, but I think that this concealer retails for like $12 or something. It's not very expensive. Go ahead with my beauty blender and go ahead and blend that out, starting with the outside where we kind of want that product to be like more dispersed, and then working our way in where we want to see it like being like a lot more pigmented. Really quick, I want to talk about sponges. like beauty blender sponges or beauty sponges are not created equal. It's really true. When I look for a beauty sponge, I always try to find something that has like, it sounds dumb, but like more of like a spongy texture. So I'll show you really quick in comparison. So this is, you know what? Oh my God, I'm such a flop because I don't even know for sure where this sponge is for. I think it's Sonia Kashuk, which is a Target brand. See this, sorry, this sponge is dirty. Compared to a Morphe sponge, you honestly, I don't know how well you can tell the difference in detail. I don't know if you can see it, but this one just has like more holes in it. It's more like spongy and like it just has like a softer feel and it's easier to blend. This one is really hard. The only reason why I have like all these Morphe sponges is for like when I do makeup on clients. I like to just have like a bunch of different sponges. This one is my own personal sponge and my go-to. It's my favorite. It's my favorite child. I pick favorites. I don't even care. Okay, now that that is nice and blended, we're gonna go on to our third product. Using the Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. Yes, it's called Ethereal Setting Powder. And I honestly, I understand why it has that name because it definitely gives you like a glow and makes your skin look like really fresh. So I'm actually gonna be using the medium shade, but the medium is honestly, for me personally, just like a touch darker than I usually like to set my under eyes with. I like a really bright under eye if I'm doing more of a full glam look. Today I'm going for a look that's like a lot more natural and understated and also really pretty for summer, by the way. I'm okay with like toning that down a little bit and making everything just look like as neutral and natural as possible. So what I do with this, I usually take it and put it in the lid and dip the back of my beauty blender in it, get it in there real good, and then just tap away and just set that. Here's the thing about baking, because I know there's a lot of people have like conflicting feelings about it. Like some people are like, oh no, baking dries out my skin way too much, and then other people are like, they live by baking. I'm one of those people who live by it, but I have really oily skin. If you are a girl who has like normal to dry skin, you never need to do this, okay? You never, ever, ever need to do this. You don't need to bake. Really, baking, the way I see it, kind of like creates more layers of makeup that like the oil can't fight through. I like to lay it on like kind of more on the thicker side, just so it gives that oil a chance to like absorb through a couple layers. Which is why I always even do extra. This is like a must in the summertime for me. And there, now we've got our bake going. Looking good, feeling good, and take a drink. So our fourth product is a brow pencil. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer and the color Granite. This is the darkest color, I believe. It's definitely more of like, it's not like a black, but it's like a little bit more of like a grayish black. It's a soft black. We'll say soft black, not a gray black. I would definitely suggest that if you're someone who's new to makeup and you're still learning, even if you are someone with like darker features and like dark hair like me, definitely don't do the darkest shade. I have really sparse brows, as you can obviously see already, so I kind of need that extra bit of color, but I'm really like light-handed when I shade my brows in. If you're beginning and you're still like working on like pressure and shading and all that kind of stuff, definitely go for something a little bit lighter, and then if you feel like you need something darker, work your way there. Rarely buy the same makeup product twice. I always want to try something new, but this is like my go-to. I don't even think about using anything else, and this is probably the eyebrow pencil I'm going to use for the rest of my life. I feel like a lot of people are going to hate on how I do my brows because I feel like the really like overdone, overly perfect brows is just not what I'm into anymore. I really like a brow that's like really fluffy and natural. I'm going to show you guys how I get that. So I usually start by just drawing some like hair-like lines towards the center. And since my brow doesn't come in very far, I kind of like to make it up a little bit and like draw some hairs kind of softly, lightly, so they are believable. To kind of draw in some extra hairs in the middle. You like see that? And then once I've done that, I move to like the tail end of the brow. You can see that I have brow hairs that come down like a little bit further. My brows, I haven't, since this quarantine started, I haven't touched them, I haven't tweezed them, I haven't like trimmed them or anything. I've just been letting them grow in naturally the way that they want to. And honestly, I'm kind of into it, and like I'm loving seeing these extra hairs down here. A lot of the time I'll see girls filling in, like anywhere they see hair, they're gonna draw a line over it. I don't. I kind of try to keep it like a little bit above that line. Like technically I still have hairs down here, but I like to draw a line right in between that and kind of give my brow a little bit of lift. And I think it's cute that you can like see the hairs underneath. And then once I draw that bottom line, I go ahead and just draw the top line of the tail. Keeping in mind, I'm only drawing this line towards the end of the brow. I'm not doing that at the front. And then everything else, I just like to shade it in using like hair-like strokes. So it looks really natural. And yeah. And then I go in with, honestly, you always want to get a brow pencil that has one of these spoolie brushes at the end. Honestly, I think all of them usually do, but this thing really comes in handy. And so I don't like to see this like harsh line here, and so I just like brush it through. I'm not gonna brush it towards the front where I did this like fine detailing, because I want that to sit and stay exactly the way that it is, but everywhere else I can go ahead and just blend that. You can see how diffusing that line just made everything look so much more natural. And so yeah, it's not perfect, but it's like, I love this. And so yeah, let me do the next brow really quick. Okay, so now that I have that drawn on, I feel pretty good about that. We're gonna clean it up just a little bit, just to like give it more of like a definite shape and to like look like I actually like tried. We're gonna use the same Kylie concealer again. This one is really good for cleaning up brows because it's light. It's light enough to give that like freshly waxed brow look, but it's not so light that it looks like you just drew like a white line under your brow. You want your brows to look like an eyebrow still, you know? You don't want it to look like a second grade art project. So I just took a little dot and like put it on my hand like this. I always do it this way because when I clean up my brows, I like to use the smallest, tiniest amount of product that I possibly can. So I take like the smallest amount of product on a flat brush. I'm just gonna go in. Cleaning up the brows is really nice too, because if you kind of didn't draw on the brows perfectly, you can really just like get all of your mistakes. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I really did fill my brow in perfectly this time though, I'm not gonna lie. It's so funny doing makeup, even doing makeup as long as I've done it, you have like good days and bad days. I have days where I do my makeup and I like look in the mirror later in the day and I'm like, what the fuck was I even thinking? Like, I was like, this looks terrible. So I like to, sorry, I totally forgot, but I'm like doing a tutorial here. So I did my bottom, like the bottom line, and now with the top line, I'm going with even like a smaller amount of product, like literally the tiniest, babyest amount of product, and just cleaning up a little bit. And I don't like to see super harsh, perfect lines when it comes to brows, because no one's eyebrow really looks like that. Unless you're someone with like mad thick eyebrows, like crazy thick eyebrows, and you just got a fresh wax that day, you're not gonna have perfectly thick front to back, perfectly in line brows. I sometimes do like a little bit of like a harsher brow, but 9 times out of 10, most of the time, I just want my brows to look like just normal. I want them to have like a little bit of character, but I don't want to make them a whole new girl. Definitely utilize your fingers when you can. Just like your fingers are warm, the product warms up in your fingers, everything blends easier. Okay, and there's our brows. So now that we finished our brows, we're going on to like our 5th product, but this isn't our last step. It's not even close to our last step. I'm gonna take a clean brush that doesn't have any product on it and then just wipe away like my excess powder. Our 5th product, we're gonna do a little bit of contouring. This is my favorite step. I love contouring. I love contouring. It can make you into a whole new girl. I love it. Y'all can talk shit all you want, but contouring is a girl's best friend, okay? So I'm gonna be using this Bare Minerals Pro Powder in the shade Mocha. I really like this shade because it's got like, it's really warm. It's actually got like, you can't really tell as much on this camera, but it's got like really reddish undertones, which kind of makes it double as a good blush a little bit. This is a step that really brings the whole makeup look together, I swear. So I always start pretty light. Don't like to use too much product. And when I contour, I always start forehead first and like kind of pat it on just to see exactly how much product I put on this brush. I didn't really put too much on, so I'm like feeling comfortable putting a little bit more on. And I always start here because I'm okay with this area being the darkest on my face. If you're standing outside in the sun all day and you get a tan, this is the area on your face that's gonna get the darkest because obviously this is the highest point in your body. This is the part that's like closest to the sun. So this is, you're basically, when you're contouring, yes, you're trying to like make certain features look smaller and kind of trick the eye to like make your face look more proportional, but you're also trying to mimic, you're also trying to kind of like mimic a little tan that the sun would give you naturally. And just adding some like natural dimension to the face. Like this is how your skin would normally kind of look. Okay, so now I've done the forehead. I'm gonna move on to the cheeks. I always like to suck my cheeks in and start. You can kind of see like a natural line forming. You can see like I have it like naturally at certain angles, and I always start right above there. You can see this is just naturally warming up the cheeks. I always like to bring my contour, my cheeks a little bit higher up so it really kind of blends into this like eye area. And then I'm bringing it around onto the cheeks because since we're only limited to 5 products today, this is also gonna kind of act as like a little bit of a blush. Okay, and so now I like to go the jawline. I love looking like I have more of like a square and defined jawline. So I try to mimic that a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna do just a little nose contour. I'm not gonna do like a fake nose job or anything. Just, I like to add a little bit of color in the center of my face just to like balance out all this contouring. Take a soft brush and just do a little bit of just like lazy shading. Adding like, giving myself like a little bit of color in this part of the face and like a little bit of definition. I always blend my nose contour with my finger. Like I'll put it on with a brush and then I like kind of blend it out more so with my finger. Do like a little lift. One of these days I'm gonna do like an in-depth highlighting and contouring video, but this is not it. I'm doing like, this is just like a lazy contour. And I'm just gonna take that brush that still has product on it from like my whole face and just kind of like go over it. I love a lip contour. I feel like a lot of people, well, actually people do it, but if I'm not like overlining my lips, which I am such a believer in overlining lips, I love doing it. But since we're not using lip liner today, I'm gonna do a little lip contour and give us just like a little bit of a lip lift. I'm gonna take a smaller like detailing brush and go in with that same color we used to contour and just shade around your lip. It's so easy. She's a whole new girl now. A lot of people are probably gonna talk so much shit about me and my lips, but I have a thing with me and my lips, okay? I was not a naturally gifted black girl when it comes to full lips. I had a little bit of help in my life, okay? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the eyes. First, I'm gonna prime my lids with that same concealer we were using before. And really the whole point of priming your eyelids is, at least for me, what I like to do is I just like to, if I'm gonna do any shading work with eyeshadow, I like my eyelids to all be the same color. It's like painting on a canvas. Like you want your canvas to all be the same color so that the results throughout the look are consistent. And I always try to make sure it like gets to the inner corner, so it gives me that like little bit of highlight. Gives me a little bit of like a highlighted moment here. And then right after I like blend that in, I'm actually gonna go ahead and set it. I still have like a little bit of extra Too Faced powder on this sponge, so I'm just using that to set it so it doesn't crease. The setting powder is in a way kind of gonna double as our eyeshadow for today and just give us like a little bit of a highlight on the eyes. We're gonna use our same powder that we used to contour our face to also contour our eyes. So I love a little bit of like a smoky look around the eyes, anything that makes your eyes look bigger and makes your eyes pop. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I've got a nice little blending brush here. I always start on the outer corner when I'm blending eyeshadow to give you like almost like a fake wing. I always kind of give like that, just that little wing like going towards the brow. It's gonna give our eyes a little bit of a lifted look. So now that we've got that kind of placed, from there we're gonna blend. And you can see, since I haven't added any more product, you can kind of see that it's starting to separate a little bit. But that's okay. I want to like blend this out as much as I can to where like the pigment is really light and separated. Because now that I've got it blended this first time, we're gonna hit it again and we're just gonna concentrate it right in this line and right in this top line to give this eyeshadow look some more depth. So really you can make this look like you used 2 or 3 different shades of eyeshadow when really it's just your contour shade. Yeah, I'm using this like lid space here. I'm like gonna leave that there. And really that's like all I'm gonna do for that like top. We're just gonna line the bottom. I love to create like a smoky look like this with the eyes. I always like to line my bottom lash line with eyeshadow like this because it really does wonders to open up your eyes and make them look so big. Really quick, I was gonna mention this and I totally forgot. We're wearing eyelashes at the beginning of this. Like, is eyelash supposed to be your 6th product? I'm gonna be honest, I cheated, okay? I'll admit it. But I kind of feel like, are eyelashes makeup or are they face accessories? Think about it. So we're gonna use our eyebrow pencil as eyeliner. I feel like most girls own an eyeliner already, but in the name of innovation and creativity, we're gonna use this brow definer as our eyeliner today. We're just gonna do a little baby wing that's like so subtle that you wouldn't even notice it. For me, if I'm gonna wear a lash, I always want to put at the very least like a black eyeshadow over the top of like that lash line. I'll take this little like smudgy brush and just kind of blend that line and make it not so perfect anymore, because perfection is overrated. Okay, so this is the look. What do we think? Honestly, this is so easy, so fast. So if you like this video, please leave a comment. If you didn't like it, you can also leave a comment. I don't really care if you didn't like it because I liked it, but you can still tell me how you feel, you know? We can be friends. We can be honest with each other, right? Thank you so much for watching my very first ever YouTube video. Liked this video and then like do that subscribe thing. But yeah, that's all. I'll see you guys next time.